My name is Matt, and today I'll be teaching you the two drum solos in the song Bob O'Reilly, other known as Teenage Wasteland, played by The Who, drummed by the legendary Keith Moon. Alright, first, let me play the song, the first drum solo for you a couple times, which occurs around 57 seconds into the song. So that's what the first drum solo sounds like. And that's right when the drums come in, right towards the beginning of the song. Like I said, around 57 seconds. And so what you have to know about that solo is that it starts on beat 2 of the measure. So on beat 2, it comes down with a bass drum and a floor tom. So 1, 2. Now, with the bass drum is going to be playing for that. It's only a one measure solo, so what the bass drum plays is on the beat 2, and then 3 and 4 in. So it's pretty simple, just 2, 3, and 4 in, just for the bass drum. That's all the bass drum's playing. Now, after you play on beat 2, 1, 2, you're gonna play with another right hand on the middle tom on the of 2. So 1, 2. Sorry, 1, 2. So just alone. No bass drum on the just your right hand playing the middle tom. So 1, 2. Then comes your left hand, and that's going to go down with your bass drum on beat 3 on the high tom. So that's going to sound like 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, like I said, after that, the bass drum's going to be continue playing for the rest of the solo on all the eighth notes. So, just to play that first part we just learned, and the bass drum all the way through, it's 1, 1, 1, 2. So really the bass drum's pretty simple. Okay, so the next part, you're gonna come back over here to the middle tom with your right hand, and that's gonna come on the and of beat 3 with the bass drum. It's gonna sound a little like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so after that, you're actually going to come back on the of 3 with your left hand on the snare drum. So it's going to sound a little like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. A little slower. 1, 2. Alright, so after that, now here comes the ghost note part. Now, I prefer playing it with only the one snare drum hit without the ghost note, which sounds a little like this. 1, 2. But he does play a ghost note there. Okay, what a ghost note is, it's kind of like a really quietly played hit on the drum. So, like, where this would be a regular hit, the ghost note would be really quiet, as quiet as you can play, so you hardly even hear it. And he plays it like this. 1. So you see, it's almost like the first snare drum hit is accented and the other one's not, but it's really quiet. Alright, but you don't have to play it that way. I prefer just playing it without it. It sounds very similar. So you can play whatever you want. So if you were to play the ghost note, that would come down on beat 4 with the bass drum with your right hand on the snare. So it would sound a little like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. He even plays it quieter than that, I think, but I mean, this is as quiet as you can get it if you want to play with that. So then after that, that's pretty much the hardest part, like ghost note, if you're going to play it. But if not, I mean, either way. So I'll just play what I have so far from there. 1, 2. Okay, so the last two beats, or parts of that solo, are pretty easy. It just comes on the E and with your two toms, your middle tom and your floor tom. So I'll play it slowly. 1, 2, 3, and 4, E. So the bass drum not coming down on the ghost, or the bass drum coming down with the ghost note, or not, or just bass drum if you don't play the ghost note. Not up with the E, but then coming down the last note on the and with the floor tom. So really slowly again, just 1, 2. That's the last part of the solo. So let me play it a little faster. 1, 1. Play without the ghost note a couple times. I feel like it's without playing the ghost note, it's a little easier because you have more time to get your hands over here. It's whatever you really want. Because, you know, if you play the ghost note too loud, then it may not sound right. So that's why I prefer just leaving it out, but whatever you want. That's how you play the first drum solo on Bob O'Reilly. So I'll play it up to speed for you, and I hope it helped. 1. Alright, so now I'm going to be teaching you the second drum solo that occurs in the song Bob O'Reilly, performed by The Who, drummed by the legendary Keith Moon. Now this is my favorite of the two drum solos that occurs in the song. And once you get it, I think it's easier than the first two. And I think it sounds pretty cool too. Now this drum solo leads out of the bridge of the song. And it's just really cool build up and everything. So now the easy part about this drum solo is that the bass drum, it's a one measured drum solo again, like I said, just like the first one. But the bass drum on this one plays on all the 8 notes of the measure. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you don't really have to worry about what the bass drum's doing. Now, let me play it for you a couple times. Alright, so he starts the drum solo on beat 1 of the measure, and he starts it with something that he played a lot in his drumming, which is this 16th note pattern feel that he plays throughout the drums, with the bass drum, of course, playing in all the 8 notes. So that's a thing that he played a lot in his drumming. And so what that is without the bass drum for a second, it's just 1 on the mid-tom, E on the snare drum, and then back on the mid-tom of the of beat 1. So, and now it didn't sound like all 16 notes, but once you get that bass drum in there, it kind of completes it. So you get that 16th note pattern feel with it, the bass drum completing it. So then, after that, he comes back down on the 2 of the measure with the snare drum again. But if you listen to it and just feel it, it's pretty much like he's doing the same thing twice. Just so he's doing that pattern twice. So if I slow it down, and 1, 2, and 1, 2. So really, it's just that pattern. Not that difficult. Now, after that, after he plays a, you're going to go over here and go and just right hand on snare, left hand on mid high tom, so it's in the F. Really slow. So then after that, it's pretty easy the rest of the way through. Because then, are you playing 16th notes the rest of the way through on the hands? So, I'll just play the pattern for you real quick. All it is 3 E. So you're going to go on the 3 E, on the 4 tom in the snare drum. And then over on the high tom you go and 4 E. And then back over here in the 4 tom in the snare drum on the N. 3 So of course you got the bass drum playing on all the 8th notes, so slowly it would sound like this. A little faster. Up to speed. Now put all that together, I'll do slowly first. Of course, come on beat 1 of the next measure with a crash cymbal. So, play it up to speed. Well, I hope that helped. Once again, that was the song Bob O'Reilly, performed by The Who, drummed by Keith Moon. I just want to tell you, I originally learned the song through a website called Drums the Word, all one word, kind of like Mum's the Word, but with the drum. And he has a lot of great stuff on that website, so you should check that out. And I really hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thanks.